Hello everybody, welcome again to the 145 Booth podcast. We are here yet again with amazing content, with amazing conversations about mental health around the creative. Thank you again for being with us throughout the season. Thank you for being with us throughout the episodes. Thank you for your conversations. Thank you for your views. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. And if you haven't yet, if you haven't liked us, if you haven't followed us, please do at the 145 Booth, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at the 145 Booth. It's our hope that you're actually getting a safe space in here, that you're getting to understand a lot of so many things that you probably had not deciphered with time. And even though you're not a creative, this is your home as well. We are going to be your safe space, and we can have these conversations about the mental health space in our lives. It's a discussion that we never really talk about, but we are glad that we are able to actually have it. Yet again, say yet again, I have a wonderful, yes, you know, she gets the memo. I mean, she must be a fantastic guest. Yeah, so yet again, we have an amazing guest with us today, and as per usual, I don't know why I keep saying this, but I don't introduce my guests because I think they will, I actually no, not even think, they will do better justice in introducing themselves. And so help me welcome Viola Karuri.
Yay.
Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you very much.
It's so good to see you. Like, I saw you today, I was like,
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But you don't change.
I don't change.
You don't change.
I mean, look at who's telling
lovely
me I don't
as
change.
ever.
You look lovely
We
as
started
well.
on a high note.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Asante
and thank you for
sana.
taking and giving and taking the invite. Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Asante kwa kukubali kukuja.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for honoring the invite.
Thank you for honoring. You see, guys, this is the guest you need who's going to tell you what you need to say. Yeah, so nice to have you.
Thank you.
And seeing you after a long time. Man, these are the things I should have told you when you walked in, right? Which I did.
Yes.
But it's so nice to see you, Viola. And I think your journey is one of those ones that I look at and I'm like, you know, I will be honest with you. In 2018, when we were working with Non-CZ and Terrazzo Media, basically,
Yes.
you were the first person I actually used to look up to on your socials.
Oh.
I didn't tell you that?
No.
Yeah, so every time before I did something, I'd always go and check, what has Viola done?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I think we can get there. So we always need people who we can look up to. Yeah, and even though not necessarily have them saying that they are our mentors, but someone who's been there before. Yeah, and this creative space, man, you need someone like that who you can actually look at and is like, if Viola is doing this, I can also do it. If she's actually going ahead with this, I can actually do it. Okay, now because I hijacked your introduction, please tell us who you are.
Oh, thank you very
Yeah.
much for saying that. I
Karibu.
think that's very sweet.
Yeah.
People don't get to hear good things about themselves while
Yeah.
they're alive.
No, it's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's
So
so true.
thank you very much for saying that. I'm very humbled by your statements. So who is Viola? Viola is professionally, I am a singer, a songwriter, recording engineer, sound engineer, producer.
Come on now.
So if I elaborate a little bit more, so production, music production, I do concert production as well.
Yeah.
I've done production for TV, event production. For sound, as a sound engineer, I help find sound solutions for people. So if you have a space that, like now, this lovely studio that is so well put together,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, first of all, my OCD is checking. I'm like, oh, those strings.
I know, right?
It makes
I know.
sense, you know. So, so finding sound solutions for spaces. I've done sound for film. I've done sound for audiobooks. So those are some of the things I've done. I think generally I package myself as an entertainment entrepreneur because, you know, before pre-COVID, we had the luxury of saying I am a singer.
Yeah.
And then
luxury.
Yeah, it was a luxury.
Yeah.
But then when COVID came, as much as you have other skills that you've acquired in the past and you've been working on, the absence of spaces to perform and things like that really forced us to be very intentional about, okay, utilizing the other skills that you have. So I basically call myself an entertainment entrepreneur because I think I am an all-rounded person where entertainment is concerned. Achievements, notable achievements that I am very proud of. Number one was, of course, being the first and only female producer at Cook Studio.
Yes, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, I really liked that. I loved that I was the first. I don't like that I was the only because I think there are other female producers who are coming up and who are actually in this space who I think would have benefited a lot from that platform. I wish it had continued because it was an amazing platform for producers, for all the people who took part in it. So I think, you know, we are growing in the female music producers space, and I wish that I hope to see those opportunities grow. So there was that. And then another notable thing that I feel like is something that has defined my journey as an engineer, as a recording engineer, or as an engineer in general, was I was among the founding engineers at audible.com. Yeah, so it's a huge audiobook platform across the world, and I used to work I was recruited among the first ones there when I lived in New York. So that has been a very proud moment for me when I see how big Audible is now versus when it was what it was before it was acquired by Amazon and things like that. So it's a proud thing for me.
Yeah.
So that's professional.
Yay.
Personally,
wait a minute. Hakuna gafan question.
Personally, something I take very huge pride in and I don't talk about a lot is I am a mother. I am a wife. And yes, I'm a sister, I'm a friend.
You're a friend.
But I'm very private. My life
very
is very private.
Extremely so.
Yeah, because I've been married for 16 years now, almost 17. And people don't know that because I believe that I chose the limelight. My family did not. Yes, and because media can be very invasive space, I like to keep them close.
Wait a
so
minute.
they are not as exposed as
17.
Yes.
Yani, your marriage is about to become an adult. And we don't know. And there are people who actually don't know you.
I like that. My marriage is about to... I'll tell my husband that.
Yeah.
Do you know our marriage is about to become an adult? Our marriage is a late teenager. Yes. So I've been married for 17 years almost. And I have 2 kids.
Yeah?
Yes.
Who would know? Yeah, you're looking fantastic, I must say. So it's interesting that you mentioned about the social media space.
Yes.
And it's one of those places that a lot of creatives are really on, and especially for the marketing of their products and what needs to, I need to get my products out there. And we were just talking about it, how there's that love-hate relationship that you have.
Yes.
And I like how you asked, how does me taking a photo and sharing it on social media about me taking coffee going to impact someone else's life? So if you were to be asked, and how you've mentioned that social media for you, your family didn't choose the limelight, you are the one who chose it. How are you able to balance that and at the same time, because I know there's a lot of things that come with the social media space and especially mentally, and like we were just discussing, if you're not in the right space, sometimes even creating content is a problem. Sometimes if you're not in the right place, thinking about what you need to do next is an issue. How have you been able to balance that? Because sometimes we bring our families into it and we actually end up introducing them a little too early, and especially for the kids. Maybe your husband is just not comfortable being on the limelight, but because there's that pressure, I need to show what my family looks like. How have you been able to stay away from that pressure?
So for me, my family is just a no-go zone. I've been quite clear about that. So the only time you'll go on my timeline and find my family is maybe a birthday dinner or something like that. So once or twice a year at the max. I struggle with social media, maybe because I think I'm an introvert. I can be an extrovert depending on the situation and circumstance. But I find myself really struggling with even with social media itself. So putting myself up is already a problem.
Yeah.
So putting them up is just a whole
It's a whole
nother
nothing.
thing altogether.
Yeah.
So I'm not about putting them on social media. So for me, there's no even balance to be struck. It's just a no-go
It's just
zone.
a no-go zone.
Yes. However, strangely, my husband is a severe social media person.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh, he was born for social media. He was born for social media. So he's very good with it, and sometimes people are even telling me they keep track of me through his page, because they're like, he's such a social media person. I struggle with understanding the why of personal things on social media, because I believe that if you overexpose your children, especially when they're too young, and sometimes you'll find people on social media putting up their kids in just really compromising situations. Like the clothing that they're wearing as kids in advertisements or in spaces like that child will look back later, because the internet never forgets. It
doesn't forget.
Child will wake up one day and is either, is a teenager, and their friends see their stuff when they were young on social media, and they start being bullied in school because of something that could have been avoided. Or they have they come back to you and say, why would you have put me dressed in a shuka or in my diapers on social media? So I just feel like we need to think a little bit more about what content we put up on social media. I'm not against it. And the reason I'm not against it is because in this day and age, we can't live without it. I am completely cognizant of the fact that without social media, our careers would not progress to the levels that we expect them to. So I am completely cognizant of that fact. So because of that, I struggle, and I am one with my struggle with social media, and I work hard to go out of my comfort zone to create content. However, if it was up to me, no. Yeah, and we were discussing prior, because then I was saying, if we lived in the times of, if Michael Jackson was on social media, if we had social media at that time, would we really know Michael Jackson? Would he have blown up to the extent that he did? Because he's a poor young boy with his group, with his brothers, from Gary, Indiana. It's just they lived a poverty-stricken life. Imagine where would they have gotten cash at it to get proper phones or cameras to take content for social media. We'd be looking at them and say, swipe. In fact, nobody would. How many followers would they have had? So then their musical careers would have been what? Nothing, non-existent, based on today's,
what looks successful on social media.
Yeah. So chances are we would not have the Michael Jackson that we had. So. I struggle with social media.
And it doesn't and it doesn't stop you from being who you are.
It doesn't.
It doesn't stop you from being the amazing sound engineer that you are. It doesn't stop you from being a good mom.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you from being a good friend.
Yes.
Really. So we can choose our battles.
Yeah.
And so with that, I know there's a lot of mental stories going on, mental space stories that go on our socials, and social media has a lot that has contributed to it, and I'm glad that we are now talking about it, and also being aware of the fact that how you open up your kids now, or how you expose them will really affect them eventually. And it's good that as a creative who's a mother, you're able to see that. Because the other day we were just talking about how we forget that kids need to be kids. We need to give them that chance, and we don't need to open them up to the things that they don't need. We are not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but as a mother, you know what is right. And so because of that, what does mental health mean to you and your family now that you are it's a no-go zone, and I'm sure you protect them that way for a certain reason, and perhaps we never really think why we're doing that, but eventually when you now see much later, it's like, okay, their mental health would have been affected badly if I had not. So what does mental health look like to you as first of all as a wife, as a mother, and as a creative?
So for me, mental health, especially where I'll put my family in general, my mental health for me is just a safe space. I need my family to be at a safe space with, you know, in this world generally where social media is concerned, especially. I need that my family is not affected by my career as much as it's impossible to keep them completely off. I mean, of course, they will have some effect, you know, there'll be some effects, of course, of it. But for me, mental health, where my family is concerned, is just safety. Keeping them away from too much intrusion by the outside world and calling attention for things that they did not ask for. Yeah, just safety.
Yeah. And for your career as well, because now that we're talking about mental health for creatives, how does that look like? Like what is, and especially what you create, and maybe you can also tell us what are the things that you feel that a healthy mental space will not be able to give you as well, because we've had guys who've come and told us how by not being in the right sense of mind, they were not able to do what they needed to do. We've had about writer's block. We've had about all these other things. How does that look like for you as a creative, mental health for you?
Okay, so for me, I'll discuss the thing that I find I struggle with the most mentally is imposter syndrome. I don't know if some of your guests have discussed it.
Yes.
They have.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing and we don't talk about it. I think you had mentioned before that it feels almost like you're embarrassed to talk about it because imposter syndrome is something that comes from within. And you sit and you say, okay, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve to be in this space, where you start analyzing everything you do with a fine-tooth comb, and you're just going through it and you second guess and you just keep going over it again and again and again. It becomes, sometimes it's debilitating. And for me, I'm that kind of person where, to me, it comes with so much baggage.
Yeah.
So I have this thing where when I start feeling, okay, I'm not good enough as a singer, especially, this hardly hits me personally, but it's mainly professionally. I know I'm a fantastic singer.
And you have been told that before.
That is the thing.
And you have seen such amazing reviews about
you
the
see
same.
Now that's the thing, is the imposter syndrome comes in a way that you have to be externally validated. I don't believe, without that external validation, I won't believe that I'm good enough. So until somebody says, oh, that sounded really good. Myself, when I do it, I'll be like, oh, was that good? Okay, what am I supposed to do? I think I could have done this better. I think if so-and-so did it, it would have sounded like this.
Is there harmony missing?
Oh my gosh.
Should I have changed that
Should I have changed that?
And the song is already out.
I don't even do that before the song is out. For me now, that's the effect. Is it prevents me from releasing. It holds me back from getting projects done. So it comes with an added thing of perfectionism. So in that imposter syndrome, perfectionism is born.
Yeah.
Because assuming I'm doing I want a song, I'm in the studio recording a song. So I'll write the song, and the minute I write it, I find that the songs I write the fastest are the best. So like sometimes I'll write a song in 15 minutes and I'm feeling that song. And then I go into the studio, so I write the chords, and I go to the studio and we record it. And I really like it. Then I get the demo. And that is where it all starts going down.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, okay, maybe I could sing it different. Maybe my styling of the song is not working. How about if I styled it like this person? What if this person was doing it? Okay, maybe let me go back and try it again. The good thing is I have a studio at home, so I'm able to try all these things and go through my madness by myself. So I take the track And then I started recording it again, and I tried differently, and then I tried different. Then in the process, I was like, oh, I like this one. I don't like this one. I like elements of this one. Then I start splicing and piecing the parts I like together. Then they're not working. And then I say, okay, maybe let me take a break from it and move away, and then I'll come back to it in a day or two and listen to it afresh. And then I start... And I listen to it, says, I don't like it. I think I prefer the original version. But then the original version had this problem. So it becomes a cycle. By the time I'm done with that cycle, I'm at the point now of maybe the track is the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe let's go back.
To
and
the track.
fix the track. Oh, my goodness. By the time I'm done, it's so difficult. Actually, let's say I'm never done. So I really struggle to actually then release the product because I've gone back to it 3 million times trying to get it right. And then now I finish the song because now whoever I'm using as an engineer is just tired of me. And at that point I'm like, okay. Yeah, wacha tusisumbuane. Yeah, so let me just take the song. Now we go into the video production. Oh my Jesus. Oh my goodness. And it's the same thing. And then after we've shot the video, and then now we get into editing. I don't even struggle so much with the video because I'm good at concepts.
Yes.
So we'll do the concept and get the production part done. That's a piece of cake for me. And then now we shoot it, and then now we get into the editing part where I feel now I have lost control. So now we start editing. Edit draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, draft 50.
And the editor is wondering,
they're going crazy.
Could you make a decision already?
Yeah, they're going crazy because I'm like, okay, can you change this little thing? Can you change this little thing? It reached a point, there was a time my husband sat me down and he asked me, okay, now that you're on draft, like I don't know what.
He's lost count.
Yeah, when you put it up, that change that you're about, because now I normally take a piece of paper and I start writing a minute, 1, 13 seconds, whatever, so that now it's easier for the person to just go straight.
Yeah.
So he looked after a while, and he's seeing as I'm sending back the changes, there's still like 10 of them. Then he asked me, okay, when I look at this looks really good.
Looks okay.
So now when I have a question, if you, without that change, that one that you're really, if you do change it, will it add you one more view on YouTube?
Of course you don't know.
Then you keep quiet.
Ukweli usemwe.
You say, will it really add me one more view?
Or will it give you a partnership somewhere?
What's significant? Will that one little change, which only you can see?
Yeah. And you did not, and other people will probably never know.
They'll never notice. And considering it's YouTube, they'll probably never even get to that part, because when you look at the number of minutes, so now you're completely analyzing and micro-analyzing the ending, the exit. Titling, as in, so I realized that. So now we've gotten to that point where he's the one who kind of stops me and says, okay, will this change one little thing? And when the answer is no, then he says, just let it go.
Does it ever become perfect? Will you ever have a perfect?
It'll never be, because even after you hear your song playing and it's playing somewhere, there's something different you sing.
Yeah.
When you're singing
all the time.
Yeah. You're
all
like,
the time.
Oh, that doesn't sound. Oh, that doesn't. Someone's like, that sounds nice. And you're like, no, it doesn't. I could have changed this. I could have changed that. I could have changed that.
Look different. Yeah. And I remember that actually happened. This significant thing that I remember happened when I was coming from studio. And then I'm almost home. And I'm just imagining a harmony I should have put.
Yeah.
And there was nothing big deal about it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for ways to actually tell myself there will never be an end to creativity.
Yes.
You know, there's something that you're going to see and you're thinking, oh, I should have done that there. And then I remember someone used to tell us, maybe you can try that in the next song.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, it was for that song.
It was for that song.
Yeah.
So will you go back to studio? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could.
I could.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
You can just go back.
Yeah.
Is a producer going to... I'm paying them.
Yes.
I'm paying them.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
Yeah.
But
and
it's
if
nice
the song is already gone, every time you hear that part, you'll sing that harmony that
Oh, yeah.
you think you
Oh,
know
yes.
should have
Oh,
been in
yes.
that song.
Ah,
So
yeah.
it's
Like, there's even the correction that I did for a specific song, and everyone received it. Whoa, that's
Yeah.
such a nice song.
Yeah.
But there's that
thing. Yeah.
small percentage
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
So do you think it affects, of course it does affect your craft, and seeing this is what you love to do, how are you able to, I don't know, is there any getting over it? How do you continue then being a creative, knowing that it'll never be perfect, and you want to give a perfect design? Ooh, perfect design.
That's a song.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're advertising people here. Yeah, but how do you get past that and tell yourself, I'm a creative? At least you see, for other professions, very good professions, by the way, I don't have a problem with them. There's a deadline. There's a boss telling you, you have to bring your books by tomorrow, you have to finish this by a certain deadline. But for us as creatives, we really are our own bosses.
Yes.
And the more we delay stuff, I mean, we are the ones to say how long we're going to delay them. So how do you get to that point where you tell yourself, I need to move on?
I don't. It has to come from external. It has to come. I can't. I can't. Myself, I'm unable. So people used to tell me, you know, create for me a track. I say, I don't create. Even for myself, I don't create tracks. Because I'll be there for a year.
Trying to make it perfect.
Trying to make it perfect.
Please shout out to these people who tell you, just let it out.
So I'll shout out, number one, my husband. He's the one who tells me, will it add you one more view? No, it won't. And then now I'm under management. So I have Mike of Terrazzo, Mike Motenyo, and he's wonderful. And he's, V, we need to move. We need to move. No. That song is complete. What's the next one? We have this one. So now, because like now I'm working towards a body of work. So it's very easy for us to say, okay, no, we're done with that one.
Done with that.
Next, like we're done with that one. Next, we're done with that. Okay, have you written the other? Yeah. There's this one. So now the problem with me not moving on is I'm unable to then write the next. Yeah.
That is needed.
Yeah. So what I'll do is a lot of times, so my creative process is like this. I'll think of a melody. Maybe it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll wake up. There's a melody. I take my phone. I go and record it. Just like most creatives.
Like you have so many of those, don't you?
Gosh, have you seen voice notes? I'm sure you have the same problem.
My goodness.
Oh my God, like 300. They just keep going. Yeah. So then sometimes that thought will have come with lyrics. So I read. So I have so many incomplete songs. So now moving on from this other one. To say, okay, this one is done, complete this one and record it, complete the next one and record it. It's a very difficult thing because sometimes you end up questioning myself, why am I doing this? If I'm unable to move on from the previous one, if I don't think this other one is good enough, because that imposter syndrome is constantly, you're not good enough. You shouldn't be in this space. There are people who can do it better than you. I'm not worthy. So all these little things add up. Then you're unable to finish one and move on to the next. But I must say that those two people for me are the ones who keep pushing me like, finish. V, you need to stop now. You need to stop now.
You need to stop brooding.
Yes. Yeah.
And then let's talk about the pressure.
Yeah.
That comes with the industry. Because even now, utasikia mtu akikwambia, hey, it's been 2 years since your last release. Unapangaje tupatie album? And that's what I usually hear. And I don't know, it's something that, especially for singers, I don't know about the painters and the other artists, but I'm sure the pressure could be the same. We haven't heard you in a long time. Nimetoka YouTube, sijapata wimbo yako, so unatoa nyimbo next time. And you know, most people don't actually understand the process that is involved, the resources that are involved. Have you had that? How are you dealing?
You slide into the DM and find them there. There are so many. There are people, even when you post a photo about, I'm drinking coffee. When is the next song?
Oh my gosh.
We miss your music. hujatoa ngoma in a while.
Yeah. We miss you.
We miss you.
Please call me.
Somebody even puts a link of your previous song. I'm listening to this one. When's the next one? I'm like, oh
and
my
then kuna ile ya
gosh.
YouTube. I'm here in 2025,
Hey.
waiting for the next song patiently. Please like my
Oh my goodness, the pressure.
The pressure is real. How are you handling that? Does it get to you? And especially knowing where you're at with the imposter syndrome, does it get to you? And how are you dealing with that anyway?
It does. And this is how it gets to me, because number one, I'm thinking, okay, now I'm getting late. It's late. Oh my gosh, it's been X number of years. When I do release, will it be taken well? Will it be taken well? Will I have to start from scratch? Because nowadays, so things change so fast that, okay, how will people receive this new music that I'm about to?
Will it fulfill
release?
their weight?
Yes, exactly. Will it the expectations?
Oh my gosh, let's talk about expectations.
So will it be able to satisfy that hunger that they've been looking for? Will it be a disappointment? Hey, now you go back again and
then,
start the
and then there's always that person
again.
who will always tell you what you should have done differently with the song, and you're wondering, okay, maybe you're right.
Yeah. So the pressure is normally quite high. I feel that a lot, especially because then the longer you stay, the more the pressure they put. Then now you take that pressure and then now you put into the song, because now you go back and you say, okay, will they like it? Will they receive it well? So then now for me it keeps going back and forth, and it really affects my craft. But it is well within their right to ask, because you gave them music that they enjoyed. You chose this job. I have a friend who keeps on asking me when I'm in the middle of all this pressure, and she asks me, were we with you when you were choosing this job? So you chose it by yourself. So you have to be able to learn to live with the consequences. And it has the good and it has there's a good and the bad. There's no coin that is one-sided. So you have to take both the good and the bad. So considering the fact that this is something that we really enjoy to do, we are blessed to be able to do it, because there's so many people who are unable to live their purpose or their talent. Because when God gave you, he gave you something. Ulikuwa peke yako ukipewa.
Akuita mama yako akwambia sasa unaona. No, but parents are a very vital part.
They are. Yes. But when you are given that talent, what are you going to do with it? So that's what keeps me going back and say, okay, I chose it. First it was given to me, and then I chose to do it. So I need to be able to handle the pressure. And
you put out the resources for it. And you started off.
What? Resources? Do people talk about how expensive music is?
Nobody tells you. So when you see us, the hills are alive in the sounds of music, and it looks so nice. The greenery looks so...
There's a lot that has
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yes.
And a lot of your audience might not understand that.
No, they don't. In fact, I found that it's very difficult for people who are not in the music business to understand what goes into the music business. There was a time I was at a panel discussion, and some, I can't mention their names, some people, yes,
okay, thanks,
were discussing how they have paid artists royalties, and they said, oh, just this last quarter somebody earned, was it $1 million bob for their work? And I said, okay. So I put up my hand and I sat there and I stood up and I spoke and I said, okay, thank you very much. You've paid this person this amount of money. Let's break it down. That's where the story is. Yeah. Remove a third for taxes.
That takes it away from the $1 million bob.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then now you start breaking down the costs of, you go to the studio, you've paid 30K for a track. Then you pay for
and this is just one track.
This is one track. You've paid 30K for a track. You go and start doing a video. You pay for makeup. You pay for fitting yourself. You pay for the actual videography. You get
videography imekuwa expensive.
It's not cheap. You finished that. And now you get into here. You have a product. What am I going to do with it? You get into marketing the product. I mean,
you have to hire a team.
You have to hire a team.
You have to
be
eat.
able to do.
You
haven't paid your bills yet. By the time you're done with that money that you're talking about, it's so little. It's so little, and your bills are. You're talking about 3 months. By the way, it's a quarter. Divide that by 3. So it's a lot. The music industry is capital intensive. That in itself is mental distress by itself, because you have to think, to be relevant, I have to pour in money. To gain that money, what am I doing to be able to gain those resources to produce music? But you can't be relevant without producing that music. You can't produce that music without money. So it's a vicious cycle. And in itself, it causes a lot of mental distress, because you're like, okay, now I've finished one song, just one. What am I going to do for the next one? Where am I removing money for the next one? So this thing of being consistent, even producing content, creating content, is an expensive task in itself.
It is.
So in itself, it is a mental space that you have to be able to deal with. Okay, now I don't have money.
And do you think all these things are things that we can control as the artist? Like, for example, we have, I don't know, maybe I might not necessarily mention the name, but there's an artist who stays 4 years. 4 years? Haujamuona, haja tokelezea anywhere, and then she comes back with a mega hit, and then she grabs 6 awards, and you're wondering, oh wait, when you look at the videos, they're super simple. Like if you literally just took your phone and it'll work. Do you think as a creative there's something that we can do to not control that way, but to control the pressure that comes to us from the audience, that they know nikiona video ya Lydia haitakuwa na greenery, it'll always be a background, a black background, or if I see it, it'll be just simple. Do you think that they can appreciate that? So basically, do you think we can control the pressure that comes to us from ourselves as creatives? And do you think as a creative you can get there, or do you aim to get there?
I aim to get there. I'm also realistic that I don't think I ever will. I know myself. Ati pressure is not affecting me. That's a lie. That's a lie. However, I do feel that there are ways you can control it by surrounding yourself with people who are able to calm you.
Basically a defense wall.
Exactly.
A safety net.
So you're saying, to me, mental health is safety. The people who you're surrounding yourself with, are they people who you trust? Are they people who have your best interest at heart? Are they people who can give you tough love? For me, that's what it is. But however, I must comment about that thing of this. The videos look simple. Simple is expensive.
It is,
Simple is expensive. There is simple for it's a simple and cheap. But to make sometimes a video look simple, I'll give an example of like Beyonce. If you put Beyonce in a room and it's just her in a space and there's a grey background, the amount of lighting that is going into that, she may not have spent much on venue, but the lighting that goes into making it look simple is a lot. So simple can look simple and cheap, but then there's simple and,
elegant
and it sells because it's not just audio. We are done the days of just, the vinyl. People take your vinyl and they enjoy your music for music's sake. So now when you're talking about even your visuals have to capture somebody
aesthetics
in 5 seconds, as opposed to them saying skip or they go to the next on YouTube. Your visuals have to be on point enough to be able to be competitive.
Yeah.
So I do believe that for me, I know I don't believe I'll ever get to the point where that pressure doesn't get to me. But what I am happy about is that I have people around me to be able to kind of buffer or to be a buffer for me against myself. Is that does that make sense?
A lot of sense. It
So
makes a
they're
lot
protecting
of sense.
me from me.
From you. Yay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now when you say it that way,
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
what?
They're protecting me from me. Because you can. I don't believe that the external world are out to get you that much. They're just there. You've told us you're a singer. You've put out good work in the past. Please continue. Please continue. Come, we want to give you money.
Yeah.
Come and earn a living. Come and do this thing that you're good at. But then inside, you're the one you're fighting 3 million battles. So you need to be able to. So I guess that's the thing. I need to be able to have a mechanism to be able to stop myself from being my own hindrance. And those are the people who are around me to be able to do that.
Wow, that's a lot to fight with. I'm hearing you talk and I'm not any different. Like you're literally just...
Are you saying this? We are same?
We are same. And I've been at that place where I'm constantly being told, your work is good. What you do is good. You're really giving it
and
energy.
it is, Lydia, it is. In fact, when I saw you, that was the first thing I asked you. Okay.
What are you up to with your music?
Yes.
And at first I was like, well, it's out there on YouTube.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything new, but I had to quickly tell you what
else I'm doing. Actually, now that we didn't, we never got to that. You started telling me all the others, including
things.
this podcast and how wonderful it is. That's great. But I asked you a specific question.
Let's go back to it. Yeah, we know how to run away from. And the funny thing is, I was talking to one of my family members, and they were saying how, in the world of the creative, we need to learn to be okay with the fact that we deserve stuff. We deserve being okay with where we are at. We deserve being feeling as if you're a letdown at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, because everyone is expecting for you to do something, but you're not able to for whatever reason it is. And not deserving it in a bad way, but for it's okay. Like, I'm where I'm at. Let me marinate in that. Let me feel the pain of that.
Yeah.
And then now from there, what's most important is that I'm actually moving away from it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then just also talking to you and just understanding how much you have with you. Like you have so much, Viola. You have so much. But at the same time, you can be honest and say, I don't think this pressure is going to end anytime soon. So I need a safety net. And that's what we're trying to create for creatives. You know, you're in a safety place. But unfortunately, I have to say this. I think sometimes we are our greatest enemies.
Absolutely.
And the reason why we actually called this the 145, you know what the 145 is?
Of course I do.
And you know how when you have a 145 song,
it's
there.
Yeah.
You can't
add a flat 7
or something
SAS
else.
4 instead of the 4 just being 4. Put a SAS 4.
Yeah. And 145 is basically the basic.
Yeah.
And that's what the podcast is about. Just going back to the basics and understanding that every creative struggles and we all have our own issues, and we can always come together in a booth, a safe space, and talk about the things that we are struggling with. And it doesn't help for you to just keep them to yourself. And I'm glad that you're giving us this info because honestly today I'm encouraged.
And sometimes basic is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's so many songs.
Many songs.
I mean, that even when you hear a song ending and it's 541,
541,
right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It, 4 5 4 5 4 51. I mean, there are times it's simple, but it's
simple,
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you tell someone the song has gone home, they understand.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
home.
Home. This
We
is
conclude
home.
at-
We conclude.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you have...
And someone will say, I'm not jazz. I don't conclude at 2.
Usicomplicate
Yeah,
maneno.
complicate maneno.
Yeah.
When I'm listening to it at the radio, I want to hear do.
Do.
Has
Imeisha
told me
do.
imeisha.
Ama la.
Yeah.
Basi ilikuwa song somba.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a la.
Eh,
We want
ulienda
to...
umesomea mziki, so now you can conclude at
You
la.
can yeah.
Yeah, you can show us your education. Show us your
certificates.
Yeah, hizo hapo.
Yeah. So your giftings are in what I would call, I don't know about everyone else, what I would call a male-domineered industry.
Yeah.
Very many, there are fewer, if you ask me. I don't know if the research has been done, but there are fewer sound engineers.
Yeah.
There are fewer female sound engineers. There are fewer female producers.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to be one of them, but I didn't follow my dream.
Why not?
You know, so, yeah, so now, why?
You've been avoiding questions today, and yeah. So why
Kupita
not?
katikati yenu.
Yeah,
We shall answer. Yeah, but you've been in that space. Do you think that I'll put this in 2 questions. Do you think that how you doing as a female in a male-domineered industry?
Okay.
And we know, sorry to use the word, chauvinism happens.
Yeah.
And honestly, when the audience, there are places we want to see men working.
Exactly.
Then now this
and
female.
the women are supposed to be on stage,
yes.
looking cute,
Looking
all
cute.
made up and
all
stuff.
made up and stuff. But when a guy is the sound engineer, I mean, atavaa tu t-shirt and a cape and they're fine.
Yeah.
How does that work for you, and how does it affect your mental space looking at it? Do you think, first of all, that we need to create more spaces for female? Do you feel like you're okay where you are at? Of course you are, but mentally, has it been affected? And have you had those moments for okusi kwako?
So I'll answer it 2-prong. Number 1, I really wish that there were more. I really look forward to the day that there are more. I look forward to the day when I can help create opportunities for more. For me, like, part of the reason why I really want my music career to succeed is mentorship, because I really enjoy talking to people. I really enjoy encouraging people. I really enjoy, especially women, because I feel like, as you said, it's a really male-dominated industry, but there is so much that we can do, because sound is very detailed. There's little details that, I hear this little thing, and women are good with details. So I think we can be something that we are really...
We see things in color.
Exactly.
We describe things.
Exactly. So I do believe sometimes some research has been done. Long time ago, I used to live in New York in the 2000s. Hukom early,
No, it's okay.
without giving out my age.
You might not look it. I'm sure you don't look it. Too sure.
So I lived in New York, and I worked for the National Library of Congress. We had a studio in the city. And at that time, I think I was one of 3 female engineers in the city. And the reason I know that is because we were 3 who used to be called to particular projects. So I remember there was a time when, hey, I'm going to name call a little bit.
Go ahead.
You know.
Yeah, you never know. They might actually see us and say, I want her.
Yeah. There's a time when Felicia Rashad needed to record something. It was a female, it was a book geared towards women. And I was looked for because ulitafutwa because we are statistic, so those are the opportunities that I enjoyed at that time, because we were very few. So I had a lot of work. I was busy. I was very busy. However, I feel like there are as I've said, there are so many opportunities for women to do that. Now, here's the other side of it, of being in a male-dominated industry. When you're supposed to be the one looking cute on stage, and then you're in the middle of sound check, and this has happened to me a number of times, where somebody wants to put me in my place. either they don't know that I'm a sound engineer, or they choose not to respect the fact that I'm a sound engineer. So I'll be doing sound check. And it happened to me especially a lot when I had just moved back home, where I'm doing sound check. I've released my album and I had a tour around Nairobi, I had a big launch event, and then people are calling you for gigs, and you go and you're in the middle of sound check and you say, I'm feeling like the drums, the kick is a little bit overpowering. Could we turn that down a little bit? For the vocals, the high of the harmonies, she's not audible enough. Could you turn her up a little bit? For me, turn my mids down a little. Where you're getting a little bit technical, and then the person does not appreciate it, or they choose not to hear it, or sometimes they're incapable. So I go and I say, okay, this is what I'm saying. And I tend to think I'm not condescending in my manner. So I'll say, this is what I was saying. I'll do this, that, let's turn this down a little bit. So I actually touch the board and I fix what I wanted to be fixed. And then twice it has happened that then when now it's time to go on stage, the person messes it up. Because either they're intimidated or they are too proud to accept that I could have exactly. So that has been my experience a number of times. In fact, somebody asked me this the other day, and I was like, it's a difficult space to be, because then you either just shut up and sing. You decide that when I am an artist, I am going to be just an artist, which is very heartbreaking. But then what I ended up doing is
it feels mediocre.
I know. So I learned that I ended up getting my own engineer, somebody who I trained, who was already knowledgeable, but then now I trained to do things how I like them done. So then that way I trust that when I'm on stage, I'm not worried about what do I sound like, or somebody has made a monitor mix that sounds so good over here, but huko kwa house
something else.
It's something else, just because they're too proud or sabotage for whatever reason. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that happens. I believe it still does happen sometimes. So I really wish that we would be able to get over that and to be able to say, okay, she's a peer, right? I have a female engineer. This is a female engineer. She's a peer. Let her be able to do what she does well. Let us allow her the space and and give her the environment such that when I do say that I believe this doesn't sound, or the bass is muffled, you can clean it up.
Yeah.
Without taking it personally, that it's a woman who has corrected you.
Yeah.
So those are the challenges of being in a male-dominated world. For me personally, there are times I have felt that I don't belong. Like that thing I said about being the first Coke Studio producer.
Yeah.
Where? First female Coke Studio producer. It's permanently, I mean, this was season 8. They've called you there. They didn't ask for anybody else. They called me specifically.
You specifically.
I felt the need because they have the men are well known producers. I remember that time we were with Liza. We were with this big producer from South Africa. Forgotten his name. I mean, it's people who you hear and you're like, you go in the room and you're like, oh,
you literally
gosh.
feel small.
I felt so small. I felt the need, okay, I'll forward my profile, I'll forward my this, and then, you already start talking yourself out. of the job, just by the fact that you have been called for the job. So I really struggled with that. But then when I got in there, so one of the things that the reason why they called me specifically was to produce the women who were on the show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I did a female-only show. It was just me and female artists. And we did music. We did a lot. It was wonderful. Well, of course, I would have liked to work with some of the male artists who were there.
Yeah.
However, it was such an empowering space. And I felt that kind of like being removed from the male area gave me the confidence to be able to work on this part by itself. I don't know how I can explain that. Maybe it was, I used it as a crutch, or I don't know why, I just felt comfortable. And I'm like, okay, now you've entered my studio.
Yeah.
Okay, girls, let's do this. Let's do this. And it was such a wonderful space, even being there, and the ladies are writing, and I felt safe in that space. I felt that nobody was judging me for being a woman. They walked in and they took me for the producer that I am. And that was that. So I don't know, have I answered your question?
You have very much answered my question. It's tough. Man, it's tough. And especially when you're getting into a space where it's you've been given an accolade. You've been told you're good. That's why we're calling you here.
Yes.
And then you meet the people who are not like you.
Yeah.
And then now you start doubting yourself.
And they have been glorified as good.
Yeah.
They have the credentials to show that they are good. They have they are the so and so and the so and so. And then here you are, Viola.
Yeah. So do you think how do I ask this? What is it about, should we shrink ourselves into spaces that we can fit for the sake of our mental health? Or are we allowed to continue being the giants that we are? Maybe there's someone who's watching us and they're wondering, okay, so yes, everyone as a creative is struggling with this. We all struggle, by the way. We all have different struggles, maybe the same struggles. But what remains is that we are human. But to make it easier for myself mentally, maybe there's someone who's watching and they're wondering, so does that mean that I need to go to little spaces where I am accepted? Or do I shrink myself enough to be able to fit into where I am, whether because it's dominated by a different gender or dominated by different kinds of people? I'm an introvert, or all of them and I've had those situations where I'm working with very extroverted musicians, and for me when I was starting off I was this very kwanza nilikuwa naeka mkono hapa and I sing and then I get off stage, and then you come and you meet people who are extroverted and they're dancing and they're performing, and those are the people everyone wants to watch. So maybe there's someone watching us and they're wondering, should I shrink myself into the person, or should I go into a space where I am comfortable? Or how do you now go about, I am this giant, because you're one huge giant. My gosh, the things that you're doing, the things that you're doing here, man, they're big. And there's a lot of gifting in you. So what can you tell someone at home who's just coming in, probably getting into the industry, probably getting to get an idea of what their mental health space looks like? Should I shrink myself, or should I just continue walking head up straight and dealing with whatever needs to be dealt with, other than just getting comfortable where I am?
Definitely do not shrink yourself, because if you shrink yourself, you remain in that space. You'll never grow out of it. You'll always be this small little thing doing your own little things, and nobody gets into music or into the art space to do it for themselves. Or else it's just a hobby.
It's just a hobby. Someone told me baba si kwa bathroom.
And that's okay. Why put all your resources of time, of energy, so no, don't shrink. Put yourself out there. Because of that, you will grow, both professionally and as a person. Because you're able to expand these muscles of, I'm uncomfortable doing this, but I must. I must do it. I'll get better at doing it. Like now, even as I'm talking about that Coke Studio space and doing that female episode, because we were all producers, we were able to talk to this person. You're in a session with this one, you're in a session with this other one, you are there eating lunch together, you network. You're able to discuss projects. Like now, there's one of us who was there, and I'm working with him on a couple projects. So if I cowered and sat in the corner all by myself all the time, I would not be able to actualize the opportunity that was actually Coke Studio, because that being on Coke Studio is an opportunity by itself.
Literally, the whole world is seeing you there.
Yes. So if you decide to cower and stay there, you'll remain the same. You'll never grow professionally. You'll never grow as a person. So definitely open yourself up to whatever it is that will come with it. Be it criticism, be it struggle of every day giving yourself pep talks to be able to get out. You know, just do it. Like that used to be me. Okay, time for another day. Let's go do this thing,
honey, darling, sweetheart, my love.
Exactly. Let's go out and do it. So if it means that that's what you do it because there is a purpose for it, or else you'll be like that person who's in the Bible. I like to tell this story. I like to tell myself this story. So I'm glad now I'm speaking. I tell myself that story of talents. You know, you were given yours. One person buried, the other one went and doubled, multiplied. The other one went and 10 exponentially did the same. When I go in the presence of God, what will I tell him? I buried mine. Yangu hii hapa ile ulinipa. What happened was, I was shy.
Alafu kuna chali aliniambia CS make.
That one person on social media, we circle back to social media.
No, we do.
That one person who told you, hapa huwezi make, you don't sound like so and so, so you're not good enough, and you chose to listen to that person. So you go and tell God, here is the one you gave me because I kept it safe. So I'm not about that. I think about the future life a lot, so I'm not about going to God with excuses.
No. And for us to be told, well done,
my child,
good and faithful
imagine that. What a wonderful day that'll be.
Oh man, I would love to use everything that you're given. Without thinking. And I think one of the things that is, we think about what everyone else is going to think about us.
Oh my gosh, isn't that the worst?
But unfortunately or fortunately, these are the same people we want to give out our giftings to. So we have, and I like what you're saying, just waking up every morning and giving yourself that pep talk. There's a friend of mine who was telling me, perhaps you need to record someone telling you, you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at, like, do whatever it takes for you to, get yourself where you are. This is a very good conversation. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you
so much. And thank you for being honest. We need these conversations and we need them as creatives to just, encourage one another. And even in life, just understanding that that's not all who you can be. Like, there's so much you're able to do. And when you now take away that syndrome of impostering.
Yes.
And actually gaslighting yourself.
Oh, I like that. You're gaslighting yourself.
Like, there's no one you're actually doing it. Paka, even sometimes when your enemies look at you, it's like, she's doing it on her own. She's destroying herself. So if you're able to just get over it, and thank you for bringing up that conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the show. And even as we end, I'd like us to just know where we can find you.
Okay.
And at the 145 booth, we are trying to make this space as safe as possible for all of us. And if it's okay for people to reach out to you to just probably have more conversations about that. I know there are young girls, and I've met them, who are always asking me, how is the industry out here? How can we, what else can I have tried, it doesn't. So maybe they can reach out to you as well and just ask those questions, so that we just have a safe space. And for every guest who comes, we want to add you to that safe space, because the crew here is not enough for everyone else who probably wants their support. So maybe you can tell us where to find you.
Okay. I have a parting shot. Will that come after, or will it come before?
It can even come now.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to say something. There's this saying that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. Go to, have a team.
Have a team behind you.
For imposter syndrome, I always see it as, if you want to go slow,
Pako umejitengenezea yako. I like it though.
You want to go slow, go alone. Because that's what it is. It pulls you back. But if you want to go far, go with others.
With other people.
So for me, that going with others is what has pushed me to keep going.
I like that.
So thank you.
I like that.
Thank you very much.
I think we should go write it on a sticky note and put it in the mirror where we look at ourselves every day. Just to be sure that when we get out, no one says, are you sure you want to look like that today?
Yes. I don't want to go slow today. So you can find me at Instagram at Viola Karuri. Facebook. My page is Viola_Karuri. Twitter, it's not called Twitter anymore. X.
Yeah.
At Viola Karuri. And yes, I'm happy to, as I've said, I love talking to people. I love mentorship, young artists, especially young female artists, and people who are hoping to be in the sound, in the audio space.
Yes, please.
I'm happy to have conversations. I'm happy to just hear you and figure out where you are and see how I can help in my own little way, give you the resource of my time and my ear, so that I can be able to help progress the conversation of, number one, how to go this journey as women, and number two, how to just be better. Being better as people, being better as musicians, being better audio engineers. So I'm happy to hear and to give my 2 cents.
And your YouTube channel?
So that you can come and
come
give me
see
pressure and add
minute
2025.
Hapa alikuwa nafaa kufanya hivi.
Yeah.
That's what she saw. Yeah.
Don't even talk. You know, my last video is called I Like It. I'll just sidebar before we finish.
No worries.
And there's a guy who's in the music industry who called me after I released it. And he said, oh my gosh, Viola, I can see your perfectionism in this video. And if the guy only knew when we were shooting, because we're shooting at the beach in Dar es Salaam, and there were 2 ladies to my left and 2 ladies to my right, and we would do a take, and we are crossing our legs, and I would say, and the director would say, okay, cross now. We cross, and then I say, no, we didn't all go at the right, together. There was a little bit delay in this one. Let's do another take just in case. And we do another. So the person was like, I could see your perfectionism. I said, yeah, that person knows me.
That person knows you.
Okay, so what was your question?
Where can we watch your videos?
Oh, my videos on YouTube, hence the story of that.
Yes, so that we can see the
perfectionism.
Yeah.
So my YouTube channel is Viola Karuri.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and you can find all my work up until now. And I'm working on a body of work, as I said before, this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. We shall look out for that.
Yay.
We shall look out for that. Thank you, V, for coming.
Thank you so much,
for your
Lydia.
time. I appreciate it. This is so much wisdom. Honestly, now you feel at home and you feel like hauko peke yako. And this is what we're trying to provide at the 145 booth. So keep watching, keep giving us your views, keep sharing, keep liking us at the 145 booth. At the 145 booth. Yeah. I'm still mesmerized with this interview. This was very informative. Yeah, so follow us at the 145 booth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the 145 booth. We are also available on Spotify at the 145 booth. And we're here for your safety net. Oh, I love that. So it feels like when you're falling down and then someone is ready to hold you. Yeah. I feel so good. Like you're not afraid to make mistakes, right? Yeah. So this is what we are at the 145 booth. I've been your host, Lydia Ndwika. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, we shall see you then.